What's up, Raider Nation? How are y'all doing? What's good with y'all, man? It's been approximately 17 days since I last spoke to you guys, saw you guys, or did anything on the YouTubes. Crazy to say. Now that doesn't mean that I have stopped. I haven't stopped grinding. I haven't stopped, editing and stuff. I've been working on season part two of the season. The season recap vid where I put together all 500 some Instagram clips and make it into one video for y'all to enjoy. I'm still working on that. I'm on week 10 in case you guys wanted to know. I don't know when that's gonna be on. I just gotta get up to doing it. I went back to school 2 weeks ago now, so I gotta do homework, exams, just all that blunder when you're a high schooler. But hey, anyways, before we get started, usually as you guys know, I do a multitude of things. First of all, if you guys haven't already, go follow the Instagram of this channel. There you get exclusive content that you don't see on the channel, and you get stuff that I can post on the channel, but I don't have the energy to, and you get other stuff that's more personalized on there. Also, welcome. I also decided to make a Twitter for the channel recently, so go follow that. It's mraider4. Everything's kind of in correlation, so it's kind of easy. There you go. There you have it. So go at it. Let me see. So also, little business move, if you want to call it that. I have some acquaintances that I've gotten in contact with, and they are making me a sweater for the M Raider brand. It's something I'll wear every time I go on live here, and it's also something I'll wear when I go to the Raider event/conventions for you guys to realize who I am. I don't want to spoil what it looks like. I haven't seen what it looks like myself. In fact, I ordered it the certain way. I ordered it the way I wanted it to look like. It was supposed to come to me today, but we had some delays, so it's not going to come to me until tomorrow. But I didn't want to wait that long because I had already pushed it back 2 days, so I was going to show you guys the sweater. But I'm not going to hold that up. So yeah, I got an official M Raider sweater coming on the way. Should be here in the next 24 hours. And also, you guys got the social media plugs. Other than that, I hope you guys are doing well. And welcome to Raider Offseason Debate, which was pretty much like Raider Offseason Journal. I just decided to give my more sufficient / professional name. Here is our little segment during the offseason where we debate things such as moves, drafting, signings, staff moves, rumors, stuff like that surround the Raiders during the offseason. Now, keep in mind, because it's the offseason, these 15-day breaks and such will happen a lot because there's not very much news coming around. But hey, we got some news which is outright nuts to me. And let's get right into this video. Today's topic of the video is the Raiders fired Preston Buckner. Can you believe it? They fired Preston Buckner. Gruden shockingly fires Preston Buckner. Now, give me a second, guys. I'm going to go close this door behind me. Okay. Yeah, Gruden shockingly fires Preston Buckner. Can you believe that? I cannot. I cannot believe it. How are you going to fire? I also had this discussion with a friend not too long ago, and that was how could you fire one of the most respected, one of the most self-sufficient, most emotionalized in the sport coaches that there is in the NFL in Preston Buckner. He took our D line from 30th in the NFL to 8th in the NFL as a unit. That's pretty darn impressive, especially when most of your defensive line rather is a bunch of rookies. I mean, wasn't he the one that orchestrated Max Crosby's 10-sack season? Was he not the one that got Cleveland Farrell up and down in the season? Is he not the one that found a spot for Mohurst on the team? I mean, what are you doing? How are you going to sit here and tell me that? How are you going to sit here and fire this guy? Gruden apparently, in the call where he said you're fired, told Buckner, you know, it's nothing that you did. I just gotta make room for somebody. What? Gruden, I respect you as a coach and as a man, but this is where it gets me. You can't play favorites in the NFL. You just can't. If somebody's looking for a job and if they can do it to their highest of their equipped ability, do not fire them. Do not. He is one of the coaches, along with Frank Smith, uh, that shouldn't be touched. And what does Gruden do? Touches him. So guess who he replaces him with? Okay. And in the title, I said, "Is Gruden playing favorites?" Well, yeah, I think he definitely is playing favorites because, like, I don't know how you can sit here and tell me that, man. Imagine being a fan of the. Okay, imagine having a guy who takes who coordinates the eighth best defensive line with all a bunch of star-studded rookies and saying, I don't like that very much. I want to make a change. Let's take the eighth best defensive line coach in the NFL. Let's take a great teacher. Let's take a great understudy. Let's take a self-motivated man, and let's put him in the fired coach's chamber, huh? Oh, and let's replace him with the Cowboys defensive coordinator who by the way, this guy coordinated the 25th best defensive line, and but you know what? He works better than Buckner because he won a Super Bowl with me in Tampa. Yay! Oh God, I can't even with this move. What are the Raiders doing? Why? Why are you gonna? Imagine being the fan of the team that fires the eighth best defensive line coach and then replacing him with the 22nd best defensive line coach. Gonna be me. Oh yeah, it is. So replacing Preston Buckner, it will be Rod Marinelli. Now, if you guys don't know who Rod Marinelli is, he was the Cowboys defensive coordinator under Jason Garrett. Obviously, they had a whole turnover there in Dallas, so he was let go. So the Raiders brought him in because he also coached D line. Uh, what ticks me off though is that Buckner had 35 sacks for us this year. Uh, Not to say that that's not bad for Marinelli's 39. It's just why do it, man? All these coaches are meshing. I don't understand. I don't understand why. And I hate that Gruden plays favorites because a good man, a good teacher lost his job, and that shouldn't have happened. I respect Buckner for everything that he's done, and I am grateful to the team. I am grateful for what he did for our team. It does scare me a tad, however, that we are changing. Why? Well, because, like I just mentioned, Buckner is 38, Marinelli is 70. Big gap, big age difference. But like I've told people in my circle, Raider circle, however, I've told them the same thing I'm gonna tell you guys, and that's I'm just a tad scared about us moving from Buckner to Marinelli. Why? Well, because we got these young guys who are still nurturing as defensive linemen. As I've said, for the past 12 months, I feel like I've been yelling off the top of a mountain. Our rookies, our young guys are a bunch of young seeds waiting to plant. So we can't stop the plantation if that makes sense. Uh, we just we can't risk what could come with this move, and we are sadly. Um, so I don't agree with this move. I was outraged. I can't believe it. You can never trust Gruden these days. Gruden at the end of the season said, "Oh yeah, there will be no defensive coaching. There'll be no coaching changes." Okay. Oh God, this guy, dude. Gruden is like that bipolar girlfriend that wants to get back with you and doesn't want to get back with you at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how else to compare it. But yeah, you can never trust what comes out of that man's mouth, because all he does is run wild. Pretty much with how that goes. It does suck, like I just mentioned. But like I said, it scares me a tad because these young guys were just barely getting used to Buckner. They're a bunch of young guys that are still learning their techniques, even if even if they look good to this point, they're still developing. Um, you know, and with the stakes that come with our defensive rookies, defensive line rookies, however, it does scare me that we're making this change. Um, just a tad though. You know, the good thing is that Marinelli's not some bum. Marinelli has a very storied uh, coaching resume, aside from his 0-16 stint with the Lions as their head coach. But that's besides the point. So, like I said, it's not like Marinelli's some bum. At least Gruden didn't go with some bum to replace him. So, I guess that's all right. But still, it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I I don't know what to tell you guys. um. So yeah, I really hope that this move pans out well, and I hope this move turns out to be the right decision. Now, let me speak some positive on Marinelli. Like I said, Coach Marinelli has a very storied NFL coaching resume, aside from his 0-16 blimp with the Lions when he was their coach for that 1 year. But I mean, other than that, he's had good defenses for the most part. He had a defensive line that featured Demarcus Lawrence. Uh, Trying to think, Demarcus Lawrence. Who else was on that Cowboys D line throughout his tenure there? I'm trying to get some like main fixes. See, I know Demarcus Lawrence was there. Uh, Randy Gregory, when he was asking his age, he was there. He had some like older veteran guys, but I really hope that he takes this young talent and blossoms with it. But I don't know. It's scary to think about, especially with these young guys still developing. You know what I'm saying? Um, no, like I said, good thing that Gruden's gonna hire some bum off the street, so that's good. Coach Marinelli fielded the like I said, the 15 best defensive line in the league this year. He also guided his D line to a 35 sack season. The Raiders had 39 sacks this year. Crazy to say, right? But um, I mean, I guess the one positive thing with Marinelli is that he could rub some of his wisdom, some of his coaching experiences off our young guys. And those young guys, especially like Crosby and Cleveland Farrell, they're hungry and they're ready to learn at any given time and moment. So there's a positive. But like I said, I don't agree with it. But hey, I guess we'll just have to see how it goes. I don't like it, but we got to move forward. So welcome to the team, Coach Marinelli. Hope you don't screw us over. And if it doesn't work out, I'm gonna be very pissed. I'm gonna tell you guys what. I'll tell you guys what. So that's pretty much what I got for that. Like I said, I think Gruden's playing favorites. He's picking his guys over the more preferred guys. I don't agree with it, but I mean, what can I do? Um, so another news, Vegas is again having some issues, and obviously, as you guys know, the Vegas Stadium has always had some issues, and there's no surprise there. It hurts to say it, but they've always had some issues at some given moment. Um, there was there's rumors out there. However, also before I move on, let me just say something. With Marinelli, I've heard rumors that Sean Lee may follow. I like Sean Lee, but I don't think he should be a starter for us. I mean, he'd be a good mentor. I don't mind him, but he shouldn't start. Anyways, with Vegas, so apparently there's rumors that there's a delay with that roof they're gonna put over the stadium. By the way, that stadium looks beautiful, but there's rumors that the roof is being delayed, and they were supposed to start in February, and now reportedly they're not going to start the roof until May. And again, the stadium is projected to be opened by July 31st, so that's not ideal. That's not ideal. And we've always thought there was going to be changes in there's always going to be blimps in the building of the Vegas Stadium. The one thing I don't like though is if it's not ready, we're gonna have to go play again in Oakland, and Oakland did not treat us right the last time we played there. Throwing nacho cheese at the players, threatening them with threatening to kill them. Just a bunch of bad stuff. So I don't think that would be a good sitting for us again, considering what happened last time. So I don't know. I guess if the stadium's not ready, here we go again. You know. I would hope the stadium's ready, and I think it will be. But it's always scary to think that the roof, the biggest part of the stadium, really isn't going to start until May, especially when that roof's going to be detainable and it's going to be made entirely out of glass and stuff. So, that's never a good sign. But I have faith it'll get finished. So I'm not too worried about it. But if it's not ready, here we go again. So, I mean, and I have no doubt that if we have to, the players won't mind playing in Oakland again. But bad history is there. It's not good. The other, with the Niners one step away from the Super Bowl. With the Niners one step away from the Super Bowl, um, some Bay Area news group decided they were going to go out to the Raiders Stadium and or to the Oakland Coliseum rather, and and they were gonna go put a big billboard in front that said "Bang Bang Niner Gang, Go Niners Go," and it was saying "Go beat the Packers in the NFC Championship." So they're trying to take over Oakland, which they shouldn't be doing. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know what. It's retarded. So only Oakland. I love Oakland. It's terrible. Just terrible. Just terrible. And that's why I don't think we should go back to Oakland right there. I mean, it's. I don't know if I have to say much more. You know, I mean, at this point, I don't know. So, I mean, and that's pretty much all the news I got for y'all. Now there were some transactions. The Raiders did have, within the recent days, they sent some linebacker from the CFL, some more moves. So I'm gonna read some of those off to you guys while I can. Um, and then towards the end of the stream, I will give my picks for the AFC. I mean, for the championship weekend. Rather. Okay. So on 103, which was the day after I went live, because I went live January 2nd, the Raiders signed. This is a future slash reserve contract, month where they get all these contracts. Okay, so January 3rd, the Raiders signed William Stanback to a future reserve contract. He's a running back from the CFL. Now, somebody on Twitter ended up putting out his clips but oh my god, I almost forgot I was gonna talk about something else, but I'll do that here in a second. Or maybe I'll do a whole different video about that. I'll think about it. Uh, so like I said, the Raiders signed William Stanback to a future reserve contract. He looks pretty good. 106, Raiders signed cornerback Dylan Maben to a reserve future contract. He's been off and on the practice squad, so he's a familiar name. 117, the Raiders signed running back Mark Thompson and running back Nick Usher to future reserve contracts. 109, the Raiders decided to solidify their O-line, and they signed Denzel Good to a one-year contract extension. I'm very happy about that one. He was pretty good, if you know what I mean. So yeah. Now there's actually, what's funny is there's rumors saying that the Raiders are actually looking to get rid of Gabe Jackson and have Good start instead. I guess. And then 110, the Raiders signed linebacker Derek Moncrief to a future reserve contract, and he's actually from the CFL, so the Calgary Stampeders he comes from. So let me go make sure there's some more transactions. I was gonna talk about the Tom Flores slash uh Cliff Branch Hall of Fame snubs, but I'm not sure if I want to save that for another video because I'm gonna talk a lot. I'm gonna rant. Um, that's pretty much. So trying to think. Do I really want to talk? Do I really want to divulge into the Tom Flores Cliff Branch snub? And you know what? I think I'm gonna do it. So Tom Flores and Cliff Branch were snubbed once again by that ugly, ratchet, stink bug, uh, idiotic, biased Hall of Shame. Again, 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 again. I don't know how in a row Tom Flores was snubbed again by that stupid Hall of Shame. How? How? I, Tom Flores. Oh my God. Okay, so everybody thought, okay, that he would get in this year because of the Centennial class. You know, the fact that they expanded it for the 100 season. But once again, guess who didn't get in? He didn't get in again. He got robbed again. And at this point, it's really getting ridiculous. You know, the two coaches that got in were Jimmy Johnson and Bill Cowher. And no disrespect to them, they're both storied head coaches that deserve to be in. But Tom Flores has been waiting and 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 waiting forever to get into that Hall of Fame. I honestly feel bad for the poor guy. You know, um, how do you not put him in? Obviously, the NFL has a bias against the Raiders. I don't understand. My shirt's a mess. I don't understand how the Raiders don't. The Raiders. How the NFL and the Hall of Fame don't put him in. How they don't vote him in. Some stats on Mr. Flores. Okay, he was the first Hispanic head coach in the NFL history. He won 3 NFL championships. All 3 of those with the Raiders. After he was done with the Raiders, he also, not to mention, played quarterback with the Raiders from 60 to 66. Okay. He also, after he was done with the Raiders, he moved on to go be part of the Seahawks for 2 years. And honestly, what's sad is I think that's what's screwing him over. And I think that that's just BS. It's so biased. It's not even funny anymore. Tom Flores is one of the most strained, storied, historic, uh, cultural, uh, just stagnant. You know, one of the most known head coaches to man in the NFL. Like I said, first Hispanic head coach, won 3 NFL championships rather. Um, he spent 2 years with the Seahawks, one as general manager, one as head coach. Sure, he went 4-12 in both of seasons, but that just adds to his storyline. And I know he didn't have the best seasons with the Seahawks the 2 years he was there, but I think the judge is BS. Add that to his name. Put some respect on his name. This is baloney, buffoonery. Like, I don't know what to say anymore, other than the Hall of Fame is biased. I mean, you can go down the accolades, and the accolades, and the accolades, and the accolades to differentiate Tom Flores from the others. And no, the Hall of Fame. He says, no, we will not put him in. Okay, whatever. I almost knocked something down from my wall. That's why I'm laughing. But uh, it, I don't know. I seriously don't understand. Uh, I don't understand how Tom Flores doesn't get in the Hall of Fame after waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And I mean, just go down the accolades. And I mean, think about it this way: was Bill Cowher the first Hispanic coach? No, he's white. Back in the day, um, before the 2000s happened, all the NFL players were all white. And then also, not to mention, the Raiders also hired the first African American coach in NFL history. And honestly, we got to thank Mr. Al Davis, rest in peace, by the way, uh, for differentiating the NFL between racial differentiations. So, I mean, Jimmy Johnson came in late. Jimmy Johnson was the coach at Oklahoma State, and he was only the coach of the Cowboys for 2 years, and they put him before Tom Flores. Are you kidding me? Tom Flores was the coach of the Raiders for about 11 plus years. Won 3 Super Bowls. Jimmy Johnson was the coach of the Cowboys for 2 years. Didn't win a single thing, a single iota. Bill Cowher was the first Steelers head coach in franchise history. Was there for 8 years. Didn't win a single iota. Actually, I'm wrong. He did win uh, the Super Bowl they played against Kurt Warner's Cardinals. So I guess there's that. But none of those mathematics, none of those metrics match up to what Tom Flores offers. And I just think that it's so biased that they refuse to put him in. You know, like come on, something's got to give. Something's got to give. Just awful. Just awful, awful, awful. Uh, just real quick. Um, you know, in the area in which I live, actually, the funny thing is, back when I was younger, Tom Flores, he's very well known in the area where I live. In fact, he's an alumni of the area where I live. I don't want to disclose that, but I don't want to disclose where I live. But some of you guys may know. But like I just mentioned, you know, Tom Flores really only lived down the street from my house back in the day, back when I was like 6 or 7. Okay. Every so often, my dad would go and take his Raider gear and get his Raider gear signed by Tom Flores. So, funny thing is, uh, me, my dad, and Mr. Flores actually became really, we actually really knew each other. So I actually got to know Mr. Flores very well. He's a genuine man. He cares. He's really into the game. I could go on and on about Tom Flores. Tom Flores has actually made contributions to my school, and the football stadium, no, the stadium in general, is actually named after him. It's called the Tom Flores Stadium. So he's very well known. In fact, if you go down the street to the local 7-Eleven by my house, there's actually a street that's named Tom Flores that takes you right to the stadium. He's very well known in my area, and I'm very proud to say that. But very genuine man. Very charismatic, very into the game. Was always greeting people, always visits my school every once in a while. So I know Tom Flores personally, and I know Mr. Flores personally, and he's a really nice man. I just think it's such a shame that it has happened such a good soul like him, and stuff like that. Um, and as you guys know, I went to a Vegas Con Raider convention earlier in the year, and I actually took a picture. I actually took a picture with him and Mr. Daryl LaMonica. that was one of the coolest experiences I'll ever go through. Meeting Mr. LaMonica, that was pretty cool. But let me see if I can find a picture for you guys. Oh man, okay. So the one on the right here, that's Tom Flores. The one on the left by me is LaMonica. So on top, like I said, he's very well known in my area. He's I know, like I said, I know him very well. Him and my dad were good friends. Eventually, he moved to the Bay Area, and he then obviously got a job with the Raiders as a sportscaster, and then he got fired. I don't know why. Freaking Mark Davis gets all emotional, but what's that topic for another day? You know, I just love what Tom Flores is as a human being. And I'm very fortunate. I get to know him well, and I'm very fortunate that I've gotten to meet him. And I'm also very fortunate that I once lived down the street from him. uh, like I said, my school stadium, football stadium, is named after him. And if you go down the street by my local 7-Eleven, there's actually a street named after him. So he's very well known in my area. He gives contributions to my high school. So yeah. But anyway, I went to Vegas Con the other few months ago, back in like October, I think. And I saw Mr. Flores again. Him and my dad reconnected, but something changed. Something changed in that visit, and what changed was he didn't seem like he wasn't engaged. He wasn't as charismatic. He just seemed really angry and very what's the word? He seemed very doubtful in which his surrounding was. It didn't look good. It wasn't a good look. He just he was there to pick up the check and leave. Um, and that really scares me because Tom Flores is like 78 at this point. I think he's not getting any younger. My point is that they need to put him in the Hall of Fame before he passes. You know, my thinking is they're not going to do that, and then they're going to put him in posthumously, like they did it with Kenny Stabler, and this is scary for me to think about. You know, I think it's such a just dark, shady move that he's not in the Hall of Fame yet. I don't know that he'll ever get in, especially in his lifetime. Same goes for Cliff Branch, who actually passed away. Um, why not put him Cliff Branch? So there's my little spiel on that. It's kind of sad to think about, but hey, I mean, I guess we can only go as far as we go. But there's my little spiel on that snub. Again, screw you, NFL. NFL versus the Raiders, as always. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. Like I said, I wish the sweater came in today, but it didn't. So I don't know when I'm gonna see you guys next time. It's gonna be a long time unless something crazy happens like the BUCKNER Marinelli move. I do believe, by the way, that the Raiders are actually downgrading in Marinelli than they would stay with BUCKNER. I think it's just a very unfortunate move, and I don't like it. But hey, we'll have to see how that goes. Now that I'm done talking about the Raiders, let's talk about the championship weekend. So as you guys know, I did predict that the Ravens would win. Actually, I predicted that the Saints would win the Super Bowl. They lost to the Vikings, and then the Ravens got slapped by the Titans. By the way, who ever thought the Titans would make it this far? Nobody in their right mind thought that the Titans would be this far. And they beat out the Raiders to go to the playoffs. And I actually have a newfound respect for the Titans. That's just crazy. Good for them. Great for them. So that's great for them. Um, and like I said, that's great for them. So I'm very I think I'm gonna keep on the Titans train until it falls apart. I'm gonna pick the Titans to beat the Chiefs. Let's go 24-31. They beat them last time, and Derrick Henry's a battery ram. He has to be the best running back in the NFL, aside from Christian McCaffrey right now. Josh Jacobs is taking over, but not yet. Um, by the way, I hope Jacobs wins to Roy. Um, and then NFC side, I mean, let's be honest here, guys. As much as we hate the Niners, they're the most complete team in the NFL. I've told people the same thing all the time. They're obviously going to smack the Packers. So I foresee hopefully, my hope is that we see a Titans Niners Super Bowl. But realistically, we're probably going to end up seeing a Mahomes versus Garoppolo Super Bowl. Ugh, Chiefs. Hey, at least Brady's not in it. So yeah. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys. Those are my picks. I picked Titans and Niners tomorrow for the Super Bowl and for the championship weekend. So we'll see how that goes. I will update you guys continuously on the Instagram as soon as the sweater comes in. So until the Raider Nation, like I said, I don't agree with the BUCKNER move. I wish he would have stayed. Gruden was very selfish in getting rid of him. But as you guys know, Gruden doesn't care about feelings. I do think we get a very historic coach in Marinelli, though. I don't know if he'll improve us, but I'd like to see where this goes. I would hope that it works out. And until the Raider Nation, I'll see you guys next time. And as always, go Raiders.